All right, you're all set.
All right, thank you. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to start with a PowerPoint and just kind of show you a few different things, and then I'm going to switch to the live site. I do have some screenshots if for any reason the live site we experience technical difficulties, which always seems to happen when there's a presentation going on. So go ahead and get started, and there we go. All right, so today we're going to learn about the neighborhood grants and equity map data, and and that's going to be our main focus, is what data you can see there. But I'm also going to touch lightly on our performance measure dashboards and some training and other resources that we have available, as well as our open data portal where you can find data that the city has published. All right, so on what we call the equity map, there is a section that has, we have an income and disabilities and some other demographic data. But over here, under this button right here, we have our neighborhood grants information. And there are a few different layers, as you can see here. We have the summary of our neighborhood grants, and what that includes is for each neighborhood association, you can click on one of these shapes and it will tell you how many grants they've received altogether since the program began and how much they have received, as well as the name and the association type. So that's one way to see it, but if you click that off and turn on the next layer, we have each of the grants by fiscal year. So, and we update this each year. The 24-25 data will be posted shortly. So if you click on that, again, this is specifically to the, thank you, Shauna. If you click on, again, a shape for whichever shape you represent your neighborhood association, it tells you which association, or sometimes there are more than one, apply for a grant during this fiscal year, and how much they received. And there's a brief description for each one. And so you can toggle on and off to see the different years. And then we also have, for all of the grants that that have been given out from 1994 to the current year, you can again click on a shape and you'll see by fiscal year how much was awarded. And so that's just a quick, just to get a feel for what grants have been given out and for what. But if you want to, if you're applying, you already kind of know what you are applying for. As I mentioned, we have income on this first button here. There's some different layers that you can toggle on and off. And this first one is the poverty rate. So you click on the shape and it tells you what the poverty rate is for that. It's a census tract. And when I go to the live one, I will show you how to have both the neighborhood associations layer on with this, so you can see where your association falls. And then we also have the median income. So again, click on a shape and it tells you what the median middle range income is for that census tract, as well as each of these income ranges. If you need to know that, you can again see here 16.4% of households in this area have this salary, or excuse me, income level. And then, excuse me, as I mentioned, we also have, if you can scroll up and down on these and see the races at the top. We also have by age brackets. The census data comes to us in these 5-year groupings. So if you wanted to see all of the age, like a certain age, you would have to turn on the layer. Okay, this one's 7.4%, and then turn that one off and turn on another one and go through. Unfortunately, that's the way they've arranged their data, but it is there for you to gather that information. Also, what might be useful is there is, again, down here, there's just different tables of content. This one's for disabilities. So if you wanted to see the percent total population with any disability, you could look at this layer and click on the shape, and the pop-up would tell you what percent of the population has a disability. And then you can also look by the different types of disabilities that are collected by the census. Okay. And then moving on, as I mentioned, I was going to talk about our open data platform, which is where you can find all the city's data that has been published. So, oh, thank you. And we can also make this PowerPoint available when the video is published, as the recording is published as well. So the links are in there. So the first one I'm going to show you is the data catalog, and you can search here. There's a field here by keyword, and actually the internet seems to be doing well, so I think I'm going to go ahead and switch and just show you the live rather than the PowerPoint. Let me go ahead and escape out of this. All right, so I'll go ahead, and since I was on the open data, I'll do that, and then I'll go back to the equity map. So this is the open data site, and up here at the top, there's this way to navigate. But if you scroll down here, there's some different, also same way, performance measures are here, data catalog. So it's just different ways of getting to the same information. We also have the open books, our budget data is here. If you're interested in that, that's not really related to what we're doing today, but it is there, as well as the Data Academy. So those are just some more, different ways of getting to the resources. But up here, if we go to performance measures, and here are all of our strategic priorities that the city has. And if you click on one of them, we're saying strong community connections. And give it a moment. These are all of the performance measures that relate to that strategic priority. And this is a table of contents that you can click on, and it'll take you down to a quick snapshot. It gives you what the actual measure is, what its baseline and target, where it currently stands. And then you can hit this button here, and it takes you to, this is all about this particular performance measure. You have the historic data, and again, the current standing. And then you can scroll down here to see description, why it's important, again, that baseline and target, and the strategies that the city is using in order to meet that goal. And then down here, we also have a link to the data. So if you wanted to see the actual data itself, you could click here and then see the data. So again, just wanted to point that out, that is there for you if you want to see that information. You also have, as I mentioned, the data catalog, and this is our open data. So all of the data that the city has published can be found here. They can also do a search by category. And then down here, this might be really interesting. These are some of our data products that we've put together that tell a story and give context to the data, but you also have dashboards and things like that where you can see the data. So one of them that you might find useful down here is the tree and shade coverage. So if you click on that, it will open it up. And so this is a site that gives you some background information, some quick data points, like City of Tempe tree canopy covers 14.4%, a comparison to, in town of Guadalupe is nearby. And so it gives you a lot of information about the trees. And then also you have these dashboards where you can, and it gives a description of what it is, and you click on that, and you can see the dashboard. So, if you're trying to find out how many trees, where there are trees, and it shows you, you always click on the map, always click. There's usually information. So again, just different ways to go down the rabbit hole of Tempe data. So let's see, let me get back to the data catalog. And if you are really interested, but you come in here and you get like overwhelmed or you're not quite sure what to do, you can go to the Data Academy. And here we have some videos that we've created, how to interact with a map, how to use ArcGIS Online, which is a software platform for GIS, and you can make maps and use the data that way, making your own. Esri is the software company that creates ArcGIS Online, and they offer free accounts to allow you to do that. We also have, how to navigate the data catalog and how to navigate the performance measures that I just showed. And then down here, Esri also has free free online trainings that you can take as well. So lots of resources, and we're going to be revamping some of this and trying to add some more over time. So check back frequently on that. And then the data catalog, I'm going to go back to this. So you can search, let's just say I showed you the tree data, but let's say we want public art. All right, so now we get a few different options. A story map, a web mapping application, those types of things are like the tree and shade that I just covered. It's all kind of put together for you. So that's probably a good place to go. So I'm going to show you this story map here for the Tempe Public Art. Let's see, we'll go ahead and allow that. So you get nice, pretty imagery. You can scroll down here. There's some links here that like take you down to different parts of the story map. So say you wanted to look at neighborhood art. So you can click that and it pops you right down to the neighborhood art. And here's a map. There are these thumbnails here that you can kind of have a quick look at what the art is. But say you want to look at that, and it shows you what the, a bigger picture, and then gives you a description. You can also, it shows there's just different ways of interacting that way. If you're looking at capital improvement art, there's another one for that as well. So that's one way to find some data. Let me see if I can go back. And another one that might be useful is traffic. So this one is feature service. That means it's actual like GIS data that you would put on a map. You're welcome to look at that. I can even show you if you want. But what I think might be a little more relevant, like if you wanted to look at, say, like crashes or delay, traffic delays. These are our performance measure dashboards, but this particular one has some other links to some dashboards and things that will be changing soon. And so I wanted to show you this link because if you go down here, we have this Vision Zero story map and Vision Zero dashboard. You can look at these. They give a lot of information right now, but we are going to be redoing these. And once we do, these links will be updated. So you can either click there, here, it doesn't matter, but you can click that and it takes you to a story map of Vision Zero, which has several maps in it. And you have your legend here, and you can zoom in and see more information that way. Usually the traffic data is the major roads, arteries and things, but material, but it could be useful information for you there. And I'm sorry, I'm not checking. Okay, yeah, thank you. Just double checking questions. Does anybody have any questions on that before I go back to the equity map to show you around on that one? Okay. So the equity map, you'll get this pop-up, which gives you just some information on what, click on the icons. This is, you can click on these little carrots to see the legend, and there is a guide that you can click on up here. So I'm going to get rid of that. And not the most exciting map when you first come to it because it is blank. And that is because there is a lot of data actually in this map. I mentioned the neighborhood grants, obviously. So again, everything comes up turned off, but I can turn it on. And I've clicked, and here's here's the legend for each of, so that, and the way we do our maps is the darker color is the higher number. So that way, these ones received higher amounts of money. And again, you can toggle through each of these as you want. Now, if you want to, oh, that's not it. So this is just a map of the neighborhood associations. It might have some information. It does tell you the name. But say you wanted to look at the income. You can come over here and, oh, it is turned on there. Okay, so, oh no, okay. So it's not the easiest to read in this way, but you can see this is the residential association, and below it is the median income. So you can zoom in. I'm using the wheel on my mouse to do that. You can also do the plus and minus signs here. So let's just say, maybe you want McClintock Manor, and you want to know what am I on? Median income is. So it falls within this census tract. And so you can just click on that. And you can see the median income is 77,000. Let's just say we want to see what the poverty rate is, and that is 10.9%. So that is one way to look at the data compared to the neighborhood association that you might be applying for. Same thing with the demo. Oh, hold on. You go back to that because that layer will stay on until I turn it off. And then you can close it by hitting this X up here. So maybe I want to know how many households. So I click on that. There are 1,653 households. Turn that off. I can also see how many are American Indian and Alaskan Native. None. There's no color there, so that means there are none. And so you can just click through each of these, jot down your data that you need for it. So that's one way to collect that. And as I said, these are all by age range, or by 5 year, and then also gender. And you can, go through each one if you want. As I see, like down below, here's income, disability, demographics, and these are some other unrelated. I mean, if technology, I don't think that's been mentioned as something that is usually used for a grant, but that is there. And that's pretty much this is actually the ACS 5-year. So we update it every year with the previous 5-year average. The community survey is not included in this. Give me a moment. Is it not?
And by that, Melissa, I think she's just meaning the American Community Survey that
Oh,
you
okay,
referenced,
gotcha,
that
gotcha.
updates the
Okay, I was like,
population
yeah,
trends. Yeah,
thank you.
that one's, yeah.
Like we do have it in the open
We do
data.
have the cities,
for-
yeah.
Yeah, if you want to look at that, yeah. So are there any other questions? Oh, how many rentals? Do we have, I'm not sure if we have that. I wonder if this one does. From the census, at least. Oh, well, that, does it give any information? Oh, yes. So, you can search, we do have some, where'd it go? How did I lose that? Okay, let's go back to that. So I'm in the data catalog. And I don't know how often that one is updated. Let's see, will we have 24 yet? I don't think you would have 24 yet. No. But yeah, that is, I'm glad you asked that, because that is one way to, you know, we have the ACS 20, so it might be one that we don't use often. And so that, I don't know if there's it doesn't look like there's a more recent one than that. But that does remind me, on the About tab, there are 2 surveys that we have, and one is if the open data questions and feedback. So if something is there and it's not working right, please let us know. That's very helpful to us. And then also, if you have just a question about the data, if we can't answer it, we forward it to the department who is in charge of that data. But also there's open data request. So if there is, and I'll just show you real quick what this one is. If you, if there's something that you can't find, you just describe what you're looking for, and then it asks, you know, what are you going to be using it for? And then your contact information, so that we can send you either a link, or if we have it, and if not, if it's something we don't have, there would be a review and determination of whether it's, if the city has the data, whether we can publish it or not. So there are rules and regulations and all of that to some of the data. So that there is an option there. And we definitely, you know, we welcome that, especially, you know, the feedback, we definitely welcome that. We want to know, but yeah.
Melissa, did you see there was a question also about Airbnbs or short-term rentals? Does that show up anywhere? I know you found where you can see if it's a rental, but whether it's long-term or short-term.
That I would have to, I don't know. Okay. We'll just look short term, see if that anything comes up. Doesn't look like it for that. Yeah, it doesn't. Either, and it could be either the city's not collecting it, or it can't be made. You know, there may be some you know, privacy issue or something like that, that it hasn't been published. But that could be something that you could submit, go to that request and submit it. And let's see.
Yeah, and we could follow up with you on that one too, Melissa. I know
Yes,
that the
definitely.
city publishes like a short-term rental directory, if you will, on the website, because the owners have to publish like a local contact and that kind of information. I don't know if it's address-based, but we could find out.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks, Janelyn. Yeah, and that's through our sales tax and license website that we have all that information. That's who the registration is with.
Okay. Yeah. So, But are there any other questions? Anybody want me to show you how to navigate or anything like that? I'm happy to do that as well. Yes. And like I said, if you forget how to do something, there are these little videos here that can walk you through as well. So,
And for those of you familiar with the grant application, there is a section on community impact. So some of this information, depending on what your grant project is, can be helpful in just telling the story of why the grant would be important for your community and kind of the impact that it can make. And so the idea here is you can help tell that story through data.
yeah.
But thank you all for attending. And as mentioned, we'll post on our tempe.gov/neighborhood grants website, but also email you directly since you attended and signed in. The presentation links that Melissa shared, and then we should have a recording as well for some of the step-by-step instructions. It does take us about a day or two to get it converted to a link we can share, but we'll have that for you this week.
Okay, well then, thank you very much. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions.